Hey gang. Wanted to try something a little bit different today. I wanted to talk a bit about the single that I released at the beginning of March, which was called Endless Night, that premiered on the New Wave of Traditional Heavy Metal Full Albums channel. It's the first in a series that I'm going to be releasing. I've had a few people ask me if I'm doing an album or an EP or what's going on with these new songs, and I'm just going to be releasing singles for the next year. The second one was called Too Big to Fail, and that was released a little earlier this month. The third one is coming out on April 4th. I just want to talk a bit about the song, my inspirations behind it, and just kind of how I went about it, because this song was different than how I usually approach my songs. When I write songs for Gatekeeper and for previous bands that I've been in, it takes me forever. I spend a lot of time workshopping riffs and transitions and things like that, and melodies and leads and lyrics, and it always feels like I'm trying to chisel something out of a glacier. It's really difficult for me. Yeah, and I always just kind of felt like this was a massive problem. But this song just kind of fell out of me, which was a really welcome change for me. It's not a complex song or anything. It's just a fast, simple ripper, and I didn't overthink it. I had this main riff rattling around in my head that morning. And then I just sat down in a little under an hour. I kind of had the whole song sketched out. I had the verses, I had the choruses, I had the bridges. I just kind of knew it was a done deal. The next day, I kind of fine-tuned the nitty-gritty details, the leads, the harmonies, some of the little transitions and things like that, the drums that I programmed. I had the lyrics. The next day, and the vocal lines finished. About a week later, I kind of had the song completely finished, recorded, edited, mixed, and ready to go. And then I sat on it for a while, trying to decide what to do with it. The inspiration for the song, so if you haven't seen the lyric video already, the song's about death. And why did I choose to write about death? Leading up to the recording and the writing of that song, my grandmother passed away. She was 99 years old. She was taken to the hospital after being diagnosed with COVID-19. There had been a breakout in her senior care home. She'd been playing cards with a lady who had also come down with COVID and died a short while later. My grandmother didn't tell anybody about this right away, but she basically got a hold of everyone, called and FaceTimed and everything, and she called me up, and we just had a really, really awesome conversation. Nice long talk that, I feel like it was the best conversation we ever had, and I felt like we were just able to speak really freely and openly to each other. I was able to talk about some of my new goals that I had been thinking about for the upcoming year, the experiences in quarantine and things like that. And I don't know why, but it was so special, but there was just something in the way we were able to speak to each other. And I don't know, it was a conversation that kind of left me tingling. We finished the conversation before I went to work that day. She told me that she loved me, which, that's not really anything new per se, but the way she said it was really special. There was something really different about the way she said it. I felt like $1 million that day. I felt really good about the future, and I just kind of felt blessed in a way for a second. And then a short while later, a couple days later, she was taken to the hospital, and then not too long after that, she passed on. It just really got me thinking about, she was my last grandparent, and that there's like a finality to that. The last grandparent, the page in my family is turned, the page in my generation has turned, and a chapter has closed and been written. It just made me think really hard about mortality and about the future and the past, and I just kind of felt like I needed to write a song about fearing death and trying to escape it, but also on the other hand, embracing it and being okay with the fact that it's going to happen, and just kind of coming to terms with that loss that was being felt in my family. So that's the song. That's Endless Night. I don't want to say that it's a song that I wrote for my grandmother, because I don't think she would have cared for it that much. But it was definitely inspired by the conversation we had, that last conversation we had together, and just the feelings and the emotions that I was experiencing, and that probably the rest of my family was experiencing at that time as well. That's that. So I hope you liked the song. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't checked it out yet, you can catch it on my Bandcamp's page. It's on Spotify, it's on YouTube, and all the other places you can grab music. Yeah, I just want to hear what you have to say about it. And I'm also curious to know if anyone else has had a similar experience, just kind of grappling with mortality after the death of a loved one. If anyone maybe has felt the same way as me after losing that last grandparent, for those of you who have had that experience. So yeah, we'd love to hear from some folks. So thanks very much.